obviously we've never been to prison.
Yet.
So
There's still time.
There's plenty of time.
Yeah, you're taking your time, right? When you're just
Like
taking
long walks on the beach.
Yeah, like
That
long
Jay
walks
likes
on the beach. Exactly. I do. Yeah, I only watched it like 6
Oh, that's it? I'm
6
surprised,
times.
actually.
I mean, 600 times.
Oh, okay. This is kind of making me rethink this whole YouTube thing. Maybe we should just start a boy band. Hey guys, One Up Rivals here again. We got Jay, Doc, and Ozzy, and we're just going to be going over now the trailer. I think we've all watched it, right?
Yeah, I only watched it like 6
Oh, that's it? I'm
6
surprised,
times.
actually.
I mean, 600 times.
Oh, okay. You're probably like,
Yeah, only 600 times. I only had that much time.
so you're probably responsible for like half of their views.
Probably.
Which I
think
should
so.
mention at this point, because I do have a note on it. Over 90 million views in 24 hours and 8.9 million likes.
That's it. So barely anybody's watching it, I guess.
Yeah. Just to give you some context, so it's the most watched non-music video, or it's had the most views in 24 hours of any non-music video.
I don't know. That sounds a little exaggerated to me.
And to give you just a little bonus here, if you include all videos on YouTube, it's third place. The only two that have had more views in 24 hours is by this South Korean boy band called BTS.
Oh, I'm a big fan. I've heard of them before.
Their 2 songs, Butter
Oh, that's a good one.
and Dynamite,
That's even better.
had over 100 million views in 24 hours. This is kind of making me rethink this whole YouTube thing. Maybe we should just start a boy band
I
and
have
call
a
it
few ideas for the names.
Sugar Boys. What do you think?
I don't know. That could work, maybe.
That's actually Ozzy's future boy band.
Yeah, in the very near future.
Yes. I hope to get shirts one day that say Sugar Boys. That is my dream with this YouTube channel.
All right, so who wants to get it going here? I have a few notes, but I'll open it up to see if one of you guys want to start.
All right, so go ahead. Go ahead, Ozzy. You can start. What were your first impressions?
My first impressions when I first saw it on
Be honest.
on Rockstar's official page, I thought it was almost fake. I thought that was a fake Rockstar Games
Really?
page. Yeah, because when it leaked before, I was like, "There's no way it came out early." They said Tuesday. They're gonna stick to that. And then I randomly was on YouTube at work, and I'm like, "Wait, it says Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer, and it's Rockstar Games." I'm like, "This has to be a fake Rockstar Games YouTube channel, right?"
Like you thought it was a fan made,
Yeah, like a
they were-
fan made.
like they were trying to sell it, trying to pass it as their own.
Yeah.
And like this is
Because
that-
people do that all the time on X. Is like they
Really?
pose as actual companies, like game companies or fake companies.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah. So that's what I thought. And then I watched like 5 seconds of it while at work. And I'm like, okay, I have to wait for my break to watch the full thing. And I was
Why?
like,
Because you wanted to actually work?
yeah, because I had to actually work.
You should have just, I mean, it's only a minute and a half where your boss is really on you that for a minute and a half. Like what kind of a working environment are you in?
It's
That
a restaurant.
Well, yeah, I know. It's still, you didn't have to give those details. I was just kind of joking around. You didn't have to actually be, so guys, I work at this restaurant. Go see me. This is the shift.
Like the first time I saw it, I actually watched it. I was like, this is the next generation GTA.
Did any of you guys actually see the leak though? I think it was on X, right?
Well, I don't have an X. I don't even know what that is. I barely found out what Twitter was last year.
I didn't. I am a good boy. I do not watch leaks. I do not watch fake.
Coming from
fan-made
the guy
trailers.
that creates shadow accounts, or what was that? Is that what they're called? Shadow accounts?
Like I'm a shadow government? What are you saying?
Wait,
No, so you can redo a free trial.
Oh, yeah, I do that, but that's different.
yeah, well, you just outed him to every
okay,
company.
So your line is leaks on trailers.
Yeah, that's my line in the sand is I don't watch leaks on trailers, but I make multiple fake accounts with different emails to get free trials. No, I did not watch the leak though. I watched the official trailer on Rockstar's official YouTube channel, and it blew my mind.
Yeah, I was most impressed by the barbed wire. By the way, the barbed wire. I don't know why I keep saying like the barbed wire. By the barbed wire
That is one point that I had on my list.
and the fences. believe it or not.
Do you guys think they're gonna have a prison like not where you just like it's like a cutscene where you got arrested and then you get released? It's like a mission almost, like you get arrested and then you have to like try to escape or something like that. Because that, I mean, it was in the trailer. I know it's probably part of the storyline. Maybe she gets released from jail and then that's where the thing starts, or maybe it starts within the jail.
Well, I mean, we can go over it because I don't know. Did you ever do the heist?
Yeah, I did
online?
for GTA 5, the prison one.
The prison?
So
the
they have
prison
had
breakout?
a mission before in
Oh, they've had a mission?
yeah,
A heist?
in GTA 5 there's a
For a
heist.
prison?
Well,
where you have to-
technically that's GTA Online that you're talking about, not GTA 5.
yes.
So yeah, I make that clarification because so when GTA 4 came out, they had GTA 4 and they had its online component, but GTA Online technically story-wise speaking is considered a prequel. That's what I've read. I don't know if that's true or not.
I think so. Yeah.
So that's actually not GTA 5 online. It's like GTA Online and then GTA 5, the story mode. So that specific heist was just added to online, and it was added years later. So for a long time, we didn't have any access to the prison. It was just there, right? You could go to it. You can go inside, like you can fly over it, obviously, and go inside. But there was no point to it. There's no missions. There had no story elements, right?
Yeah, before they added that heist,
before they
there's
added the
nothing
heist,
really
right?
to do there. And then they added the prison heist where you have to break someone out, and then you do it online.
And for most people already know, like it's an elaborate, it's one of the first heists. It's pretty elaborate though. You have to break somebody out and there's only one man in there. So you go in there with, as a fake prisoner and then a fake prison guard. And then you try to break somebody out and then you have to shoot your way out of there. And it's this elaborate thing where it's usually four, and each member of the heist crew has a specific task that they have to do. So I'm not going to get into it because that's not the whole point of this video. But it's possible that the whole point was that it's possible that they could end up doing a mission like that. Maybe early on in the game. I don't know when they would try to do that.
To teach you maybe combat. That would be the prologue, would be like her in prison. Oh, here's how you fight.
Yeah, they usually sometimes would just throw you in. They'll just throw you into a mission like that. I don't know if they would do combat in prison. I don't know if that's kind of too, not cartoony, but the tone of this game, just watching the cutscenes, from the like minimal cutscenes they have for story elements, it looks like a more serious tone for storytelling. It seems more along the lines of like Red Dead, where they might be parodying a real world location or making fun of a time period, but it seems like the story is taking itself more serious. I don't know if it's just because the initial cutscenes. I don't know. What do you guys think?
It does seem like maybe the story is going to be more elaborate or more, like more in depth. You're going to be more attached to the characters.
Yeah, like it doesn't seem like they're making fun of themselves or making fun of the world as much. So I don't know if they would introduce something like melee combat, like there's like a mini riot that breaks out, or like
that seems too like gamey for you.
Yeah, it just seems too gamey because of her tone and how she's talking to the I don't know what the term for that, the lady she's talking to.
She's like her parole reviewer,
like parole officer or correctional officer.
Like guidance counselor.
Guidance counselor in the prison. Yeah. So we're gonna get comments on that, but obviously we've never been to prison
yet.
So
there's still time.
There's plenty of time.
There's always time to commit crimes and go to prison.
But that's why we have GTA, and we'll just do it there.
Exactly. That's a bit of escapism.
Prison. I mean, if you count that, you've technically been to prison a lot of times. For a long time too.
Well, then that I've committed tens of thousands of crimes in virtually, and I've actually never been caught. Well, I've been busted a few times, maybe 3 or 4 throughout my playthroughs of GTA. But I don't know if they would introduce mechanics like that early. Maybe like Doc said, maybe walking around, maybe the camera system. I don't know if they would.
Or maybe just start it like where she gets released from the prison. You're kind of walking through a little bit of the prison kind of thing.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they could do that, something like that. Yeah, but it did look like even from the lighting when she's turned away, like when she's looking towards the, what is it, like I don't know what that is, but it's like out, she's looking towards the outside of the window. The lighting is pretty impressive, and even the reflections on the window, there's like a slight weird kind of distortion to the window that I've never seen in modern GTA games. I don't know if that's just me.
Well, like the sunlight coming through.
Yeah, the way the sunlight's coming through, and then if you notice, as I can't see it on my phone, but there's like a kind of like a distortion to that type of window that they use in prisons like that has that kind of that metal. And if you look at the way the reflection looks, it's like slight. It's really quick. And then after that, the hair.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The
animations.
hair is what impressed me the most.
It really looks like it's really on, like they're whatever they're using to make those animations. Because for a long time, that was one of the things I think developers were struggling with, or it was not as obvious. It wasn't as convincing. Like hair and fabric,
Yeah, those were the
right?
two
And
things.
water.
3 things.
Yeah, 3 things. But like in specifically this opening scene, I think it's on purpose. Yeah, we're trying to establish a character right away. So who is going to be one of the protagonists? So it's going to be, pretty obvious from the opening seconds that it's going to be a female protagonist just getting out of jail and she's been doing time.
Yeah.
And then her talking to her guidance counselor in jail. And I think what they're doing is both introducing the character and then highlighting, pun intended, the advancements in lighting system, fabric, hair, like facial expressions, like subtle things. And it looks like pre-rendered, it's cutscene, but that looks really good.
I agree that that's what blew me away when I first saw that scene, the lighting, the hair, the animation, the facial animations when they're talking.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is the next generation of Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, like obviously we know that they have like a history or a reputation of excellent voice acting, like hiring people that do good convincing roles. That even though it's a video game, they really kind of take this art form seriously. Like when they're delivering the lines, they're really invested. So whatever direction they're giving them to, like, okay, this is a character, this is how you need to kind of portray this. It's really well done. And I don't know if they're using motion capture or some whatever they're doing, that nuanced performance. It's difficult to capture that, even with modern technology, even on next gen or current gen consoles. So it really looks like that's going to be the next level of storytelling, is to get those nuanced performances, those subtleties of facial animations, and then hair, and then like fabric to make it more convincing, right?
Yeah, exactly. And if you notice that, so the next scene is they do the music drop right when it transitions to the beach and the ocean, which I really love in the trailer.
Yeah, so they always have a good idea of timing for music cued to the audio. So when that note hits, when you have that dun dun dun, and then it hits, you see that boat kind of cuts scene, and then that boat kind of cuts the water, but literally it's like perfectly timed.
Yeah, their trailers are always perfectly timed. They're
really
masters of making game trailers. Rockstar is.
And then just introducing themselves and like, okay, just presents and sort of, obviously you want to know who's making the game, but it's very minimalist, but epic at the same time. I don't know how to explain it other than that. It's just kind of like, this is, us, we're making the game, and it's a real subtle way, but it's cued exactly when it should be.
Yeah.
And then it's always when their name pops up, the background is always like cinematic. It's always like this kind of, to present kind of like, okay, this is the next generation.
Yeah. And the trailer is set to Tom Petty's Love Is a Long Road, which is a good song. I've been playing it on repeat ever since I saw the trailer.
Yeah, it is one of those songs that's probably most people probably had already heard about it, but it's like that. when Quentin Tarantino uses certain songs in his movies and then they just blow up and now everybody kind of listens to them now. And it's probably one of those songs that's going to get a lot more views. Like on YouTube, it's probably going to be one of those popular songs on Spotify or whatever.
One thing I did notice in the ocean shot was a lot more sea life. So dolphins coming up and swimming.
Yeah, I
There's
noticed that.
sharks you could see. So I think this just shows that they're going to be more wildlife, not only...
One point that I had was like larger crowds. So, but that includes like animal life and stuff. But it just seemed like a lot more.
Like on screen.
Like the world feels more alive. Yeah, I get
Like there's more going on.
Yeah.
Right.
like the
Yeah.
Like
beach.
more people,
Yeah.
more animals.
Yeah, like even the distance, like this is like really getting not nitpicky, but really overanalyzing the trailer. But that's kind of the whole point of this. So from the water to the edge, like where the waves crash on the beach, to the end of where that, like the trees and all that, right? The whole beach area. It seems like in this generation or in this game, they extend the size of that beach to be able to allow them to fill it in more with stuff. Like before, maybe they would have condensed that. They would have been half the size because there was really nothing there to see.
I get what you're saying. So they widen the area of the beach and the shore, so they
Yes.
allow more people
Yes.
and more things,
Yes.
objects, umbrellas,
Yeah.
people's coolers,
Yeah.
towels.
Yeah, so that seems like of course, no doubt, like they're gonna make it wider so there's more things. But before they would have had no point to do that.
I was going to say before it was like you walk through the beach to get to the water. Now it's like you
Yeah.
go to the beach to do something maybe.
And it's immersive. Yeah, you're taking your time, right? When you're just
Like
taking
long
this-
walks on the beach.
Yeah, like
That-
long
Jay
walks
likes
on the
wa-
beach. Exactly. I do.
Even that during that beach shot where you see all the people, Jay's gonna be the one walking with the little dog.
Yeah,
That's
I
him.
am.
Which
yeah,
I
that's
saw.
actually gonna be me.
I loved seeing that. I didn't see that
You
the
do
first
get into
time.
like the nitty gritty stuff that like, like the miniest of, or not miniest,
The
the
smallest.
smallest of like side quests.
Yeah, I would, because I like that. I like those kind of throwaway missions or side quests or side missions, whatever. The ones that almost nobody does, because they just feel like they're meant to kind of keep you distracted and also show you this world and how immersive it is. And that's what it's for.
Mission: walk your dog on the beach.
No, seriously. Yeah. And I would do it. And I would try to get like gold.
I mean, you do
Gotta get
get
platinum
like
trophy.
Easter eggs sometimes doing that stuff, don't you?
You do. I mean, if you're really invested in the world, if it is something that's part of the story or the lore in that setting, it is something that is kind of like an Easter egg. I mean, there's been a lot of stuff like that. I can't think of any off the top of my head for other games like Vice City or San Andreas, but they are probably going to add more stuff like that. It's like the strange and freaks or something in GTA 5.
Yeah, the random encounters.
Yeah,
where
random
you see someone
encounters,
on the
yeah,
street
random
and you can
encounters.
help them, and
Yeah. You can just talk to random NPCs on Hollywood or Sunset, their parody, whatever that street is. And I mean, you don't get anything out of it. You can just interact with the NPCs. So it just seems like there's probably the potential of those kind of random interactions.
Which I hope they add more of, like that. Like maybe you're just walking on the beach and someone's like, "Hey, you want to like have a breakdancing competition or something?"
A breakdancing competition.
Just on
No,
the
I feel like more like that. Some of it's gonna be like drum circles.
Is that like your hope in real life that someone one day comes up to you and is like randomly, hey, let's have you're like ready for that? You've been
Yeah.
practicing in secret.
Exactly. In GTA 6, I'll practice for real life when I'm ready.
Yeah, like what if they do have a mini game like that, like where you have to
Like,
do
hey,
like
bro,
yoga?
you want to dance?
I'm like, yes, and I rip off my pants and I have like better pants, dance pants on.
Dance pants? What kind-
Yeah, I like how he knows that those are dance pants.
I like how you knew that there was different kinds of pants for dancing specifically.
I did my research. I'm preparing. That's why, like you said, I'm
like the
I'm
next-
getting ready.
the next scene kind of goes to like the docks, I guess you would call it, with like the speedboats and that stuff. So that right there, so we're like 24 seconds in, right?
But wait, before that though, with just a scene where you have like wildlife or birds like flying, like I said, where they scatter.
Yeah, that was kind of my point I was going to get to, was that we're 24 seconds in. We started out kind of at the prison, and she's talking to the guidance counselor, and then to the beach, and then like completely drastic change to the marshes. That's what they're called.
Is that what those are?
Yeah. At least I think that's.
He's a environmentalist. Doc is.
He's environmentalist,
And that's where it goes to like different. The flamingos flying.
Yeah, but
and then it goes back to the beach, and then it goes to the docks. So my point being, like, there seems to be this. There's going to be this great variety of like venues of being able to play in like the city, and then like the swamps or the marshes or whatever they're called, and then the docks, and then maybe the prison or different kind of things like that. And then you have the bridges over water that we're not sure if there's a eloquent term for that.
There is. I just don't know it. But I think it's going to be interesting to see if the whole world, if you will, is open from the beginning.
Oh, from the beginning.
Yeah, from the beginning.
So how did they do it in GTA 5? Was it open from the beginning? I don't remember. I haven't played it in a while.
I believe it was. I don't think they had any of the bridges closed or any of the other, like you could go from one end of the map to the next as soon as you started the game.
Well, they did have it not necessarily closed off, but the map wasn't open. It wasn't fully open.
It wasn't closed.
No,
but it wasn't open.
Like you could technically go anywhere you wanted. Like you can drive all the way to Blaine County, but on your map, it wasn't It wasn't showing you.
It wasn't revealed.
It wasn't revealed.
That's what he meant.
But didn't it reveal as you drove, kind of thing?
It was revealing as you were doing different. You were talking to different NPCs that would give you the missions. That's how it would reveal different parts of the map.
So you were right. The map is open. You can explore it, but the map, you do have to reveal it.
And how do you reveal the map?
Just by moving around.
Just by moving around.
Yeah, like I said, you just go to the area and then it kind of opens up. It just doesn't let you see it from the beginning.
Yeah. And by, I just meant like it reveals it as you're, go ahead.
What do you prefer?
Well, I like that. That's a compromise to me. I like that. That's a good compromise because
I feel like it overwhelms you if they show. That's probably why they do it. It would overwhelm you to see the whole map, and then you don't even know where to start. So they kind of like narrow your focus by just you can. It's not closed. Exactly, it's not closed, but just start in this small area. But everyone's gonna like. There's different people. I'm sure that like the first thing they do is open the whole map. Or like, drive every street and everything. So the whole map is highlighted but that's their choice, right? So.
Yeah. Like personally, I just waited until the game prompted me to do a certain mission with a certain NPC. And then it would just give me a point to drive there. Because I wanted to explore it organically. I didn't want to just, I'm going to go drive from the southern part to the northern part of the map and just reveal the whole thing. And then it's like overwhelming. I don't know where to go.
You like the game to guide you.
Yeah. So I like the game to sort of have a linear structure when the first opening hours. So after the tutorial, after it's kind of establishing the world and the limitations. But right off the bat, you can tell that you could probably just go anywhere.
It also helps you to remember which areas you have explored and which you haven't.
Exactly. Like, what did you do when you first started? Do you remember when you played GTA 5?
I think I just naturally revealed it as I was doing missions. I didn't really focus on, I want to reveal the whole map all at once. Like, I was like, that's kind of cool that they do that. And then just started doing missions and then realized, the map was revealing itself as I was
because
playing.
Then it would be kind of like backtracking, right? You'd be doing double kind of like, going to reveal and then going back to go, you're going to have to go drive anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Or like sometimes I would just fly in a helicopter because I just want to fly around. And then through doing that, I would reveal the map.
Right. Yeah. And I just, I like that new structure of it. It feels more, obviously, it's an open world game, but it feels more like an open world game. Right. So we're like GTA 3 and Vice City, even as though like, yeah, it's open world kind of technically, it's kind of limiting your access to the entire map, but it's on purpose. It's because otherwise you would get lost because there would be so much to see and do. You kind of would be backtracking and losing a lot of hours in between that. So they intentionally kind of close it off for players that weren't familiar with that style of gameplay, because you have to remember when GTA 3 came out, there was nothing like it. It was one of those first games to introduce a player to a world or a map that was just kind of open, and you just let you do whatever. You didn't have to do the missions. You didn't have to do anything that was related to completing the story. You could just drive around, get a Wanda level, lose it, like do whatever, shenanigans. And but that open structure, that freedom they give to players is what sets them apart. And so I think they're going to take that to the next level.
I think this will probably be the most like open from the get-go.
Immersive. No.
Open, immersive, literally go anywhere you want.
Well, that's what they were saying. Is like, I was reading something online. They were saying that if you see the scenes where they have buildings in the background, that you can go to each one of those buildings. It's not just like a mountain in the distance where you can't go to. Each one of those buildings you can go. And they said, I don't know, climb, but I probably thinking that they mean like find an elevator or something, because there was rumors that there's going to have, or not so much rumors now, it's probably confirmed, that you're going to have the most enterable buildings of any GTA. But I wonder if that's going to be elevators too.
That's going to be insane. So in the trailer, it shows us a lot of buildings.
Each one of those buildings, so from the stuff that I've read, says that each one of those buildings will either be something you can go inside or climb to the top of. I don't know what that means exactly. Buildings.
I hope they have way more enterable buildings than GTA 5, because I think they had more enterable buildings in GTA 4 than they had in GTA 5.
Well, just really?
Yeah, because you could go inside of hospitals, you can go inside more restaurants.
Like, you go inside buildings in GTA 5 story, but as you're doing a mission, it's a story element, not just freedom of player. Like, if you just want to go in those buildings just to goof around, just to go inside of them. Not all of them. Like, there's some that are just completely closed off. It's just has a facade, so has a window where it just shows like there's an interior, but you can't actually go into it. Like, obviously closed stores and all that, auto shops, and like, that's different. But even on GTA Online, there's not a lot of combat or incentives to go inside of buildings. A lot of the combat is just outside. Even when you're doing cell missions or whatever, you're having to enter properties if you purchase them, but not just because you can go inside of them. So hopefully, I don't know how much that would be as part, like, if it's just so you can do it and there's actually a purpose, or if it's just going to be, I don't know how they would determine that. How would they decide like what buildings matter to go inside or not?
It's part of the development. That's what they've been working on for the past whatever years they've been working on the game.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of it is going to have, because the serious tone of it, and it has to have more purpose. It has to be more purpose driven than previous GTAs. I think that's probably the level of immersive gameplay that they're talking about. That's an evolution of the most immersive, most evolved version of GTA.
And then they have these like modded cars, the mod shop, essentially. You think they're going to have more of that on this one too? So,
right. If we go back a little bit to right before, like right after, let me see. So where is that in? So that scene, we're probably going to go back, but there's like lowriders.
Yeah, it's 28 seconds.
Yeah. So where they have all those, so it looks like they're making a return to the car culture, specifically like lowrider car culture, and then I don't know if that's going to be in that scene, if that's going to be a type of mod shop like Benny's, maybe. So I don't think this is just like a random scene. I think maybe that's where you could take your vehicles to mod them.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
In the first few hours when they teach you, okay, you have to go get this modification. And then there's probably going to be other locations like that. And instead of just kind of being like Los Santos Customs or Paint and Spray, where it's just a generic mod shop, it's going to have more customization outside. So it's going to have how this one looks like custom graffiti. There's like random cars parked outside, NPCs kind of walking around.
Instead of a nondescript building.
Yeah, so instead of a nondescript building that's just, you just parking yourself. Because when you go to Los Santos Customs, there's nothing happening around there.
Yeah, it's
right?
like empty unless there's other players around.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no other NPCs, no other
for
cars.
story mode. Yeah.
But now it seems like they're going to make it more lively. When you go to the mod shops, they're actually going to be NPCs with other cars, people, maybe showing off their engines, showing off their cars.
Maybe it's like a mission point too.
Yeah, that could be true. You do missions early on for like the owner of the garage or something.
Yeah, that's true. They could do something like that, like business. Maybe you can end up owning the business
That could
at
be
some point if it's something that's purchasable.
Ooh, that's a
for
good
end
one.
game.
Like purchasing businesses instead of purchasing properties only.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if they'll do that
Or will you have
early in the game. I mean, I want them to do something like that because in online, I know a lot of people are going to hate that I say this, but they are because a lot of people just don't really like the online component. And it's true. Like as much as it's popular as it is, because I know it's difficult to make money and it's a lot of work unless you're grinding, for 4 or 6 hours a day, which I get it. A lot of people don't have that kind of the luxury of having that time to do that. But if you've invested the time, like if you get smart owning businesses in just the right order and getting the most out of those, it's a fun endeavor. I mean, you can make a good amount of money online. And so what I think is that learning from what they see players, what they can do, what's possible players can do with those resources, they could put those elements into the story mode and have you own more properties early on to start building your income. And so it's not so much reliant on doing heist or obviously it's a crime game, but not just those, but like have legitimate businesses. Obviously that might be fronts for other things.
I had a point on that I want to bring up that I was thinking about when you were talking is that because they set up Lucia to be more legitimate in the beginning, but then later on in the trailer, she's starting to commit crime. So maybe she's going to have initially you're going to be like legitimate and do like have a job versus heist, but then she like, it's not working for her or she gets pulled back into the life. So then she starts having to do the heist and stuff. So it's like a plot.
Well, there are rumors that she could have a son in the game, in the story mode, and maybe something happens with her son. She's like, I need money now. I can't be legitimate. I need to start robbing gas stations.
Right. Well, there
doing
has
heist.
to be a tipping point.
Yeah, something's
so
got to
she's
give.
like trying to be better, but then okay. I didn't hear that. That's good.
That's one of the rumors supposedly.
That'd be good. That'd be a good story.
Which I think, that would make it a more compelling story and
natural,
you get more invested into the character.
Yeah, because there is an interesting a balance of, and of course I keep going to the online part of it, but it's like we're a criminal mastermind. So you're a CEO now, right? So you're the head of a company and you're running legitimate businesses that some are fronts for other businesses that are illegitimate and are doing like side things. But the front, obviously the building of it is a legitimate business that you can actually invest your time to make money. And so it's an interesting balance of kind of like an ex-criminal mastermind going legit once you figure out, okay, I can invest all this money I made into these and to flip that legitimately invest it into the stock market, like open franchises
Or a
and stuff like
laundromat.
that.
She opens a laundromat or a restaurant.
Or a restaurant.
And then her previous life catches up to her and then ruins it or something like that. And
like
then she has to go.
ex-gang affiliations.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting to see in what context that opening scene is, which is probably going to be prologue, or maybe how she gets out, and how you were saying how she doesn't want to go back to committing crimes because she seems to be trying to be kind of resetting her life. And then something happens, like I said, she probably has like the family obligation.
Yeah, family aspect. And then she's like, oh, either someone has an illness or something, her kid is going to be taken away, so she has to raise the money somehow, some way.
Yeah, that's if that's the dynamic they're going with this, which if her background is like a Lucia, and it's kind of like a maybe be a bigger thing, as far as like the family association, the family ties with the protagonist, which you don't really see. Or I mean, maybe I'm mistaken. Like Ozzy, do you know if like other protagonists have had their kind of family?
Well, Michael, his son and his wife. I mean, a little bit, but not really. Like you,
Yeah,
what do you do?
but
Like one or like a couple missions, one mission.
no, you
about
do.
his son.
Well, no, you do a few. I just think that it's because he's always just bickering with his family, though.
Right. I was gonna say that's a different dynamic than like
Exactly.
you're trying to fight for your family. In his case, he's just like, oh
He's
god damn it,
tired.
this
He's
stupid
tired.
kid. I have to bail him out again. Like
Yeah,
Yeah, like
versus like, oh, this is like
protecting my family,
Right.
And then I'm fighting for my family so that I can get them out of something. Whereas Michael seems to
like he has the money.
Exactly.
That's not the
It's
problem in his
opposite.
life. It's that he doesn't like his family early on.
It's the opposite. Is that he thought maybe that was his hope, that by doing these crimes and having all this money, his family would become closer. Irony is that they live in a big mansion, separate rooms, and they spend very little time together. Well, I mean, they're together in the room, but they don't have that closeness because that's why he's in therapy,
Yeah, exactly.
because that money isn't buying him happiness. Obviously, he knows that. So what he wants is just the dynamic of his family to change. So that's going to be reversed, right? Where her upbringing might be from low income or starting off with very little, and that kind of upbringing, to where now she wants the responsibility of kind of providing for her family in whatever way that is. Or like you said, like if family member has an illness, or she has a son.
Yeah, it could accelerate the timeline of like, oh no, I need to get money whichever way I can now.
So it explains why she gets back to committing the small crimes.
Yeah, maybe early on, and then she evolves with Jason to commit bigger heists.
Which will still be interesting to see, because I mean, we're really taking a serious tone right now with that, the way we're describing. But that's exactly what the impressions of the game give me. Before it would have been just, oh, this is just a video game, right? It's just talking about this, taking it so serious. But
they're
it is
setting
like
it up
that,
more like us, like focusing on the story.
Yeah.
Versus you're like playing through the story versus just watching it. You're affecting it almost to a certain degree.
Yeah. So it feels like they want you to invest more personally into that. Whether that's relatable or not, that's a different thing. And then if it's a product of its environment, of wherever the parody is. And I forgot, what's the state? Do you know what the fake state that
Leonida?
Leonida, right?
That's the
something like
Florida
that.
Parody
parody.
of San Andreas. So that's interesting. They make reference to that because
No, Vice City. Not San Andreas.
Vice City. Because it's interesting they make references to that to bring it up for the first time, as this is the fictional version of Florida. Because when San Andreas first came out, that was the big thing. It was before GTA 3 was just taking place in Liberty City. So we didn't care about what state it's fictionally set in. And then, Vice City, we know that's obviously a parody of Florida, a city. And then it doesn't really care to make too much references to the state. It's kind of like, all right, it's obvious. And then when San Andreas came out, it was this first GTA to, okay, let's take the scope of it. We're now talking about just like the size of the city and expanding that 3 cities, and then branching that out. And so they're really referencing the San Andreas state. So the game was more about expanding the world to that scale of to where just now it's just parodies of cities. We're going to do an entire parody of the state because those 3 cities are in that state. But that was the first time they did that for something that's set in Vice City.
And I think we have more shots of like clubs. We have like one that looks like a strip club, and then
another one that just looks like a regular nightclub that would be in like at the after hours DLC, which could suggest to me that's another business. I mean, I'm really hoping, that's just me personally, I'm really hoping they do introduce the businesses that you can purchase after maybe doing the heist. If you do have a heist and you get, like a good amount of money, and then you could to try to invest that into stuff like that, so that the hope is for me that they introduce more properties that have garages so you can store more of the vehicles, because that was the one thing that was limited in GTA 5 story.
Was the amount of garages to put cars in.
Yeah.
You have so many cars, first world problems. You have so many cars, you have nowhere to put them.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just that it's not so much that you have so many cars. It was just really limited. It wasn't even that you had so many cars. It wasn't even like an exaggerated amount of vehicles that you can, like, now it's hundreds of cars in online where you can own hundreds of cars.
So is that from like a desire to have a certain car when you wanted it, or is that because like me looking at this like nightlife kind of thing? There's a lot of cars. There's Ferraris, there's Porsches.
So the unique thing about GTA is that the vehicles don't handle like a generic vehicle. Each vehicle handles like you would in real life.
Yeah, I know.
It's very exact to specifications of that type of high-end vehicle or not high-end vehicle. And so the hope is that, yeah, they look cool and you can use them, but also some of them are just practical. Like some of them are just better handling certain situations than others. And so I'm hoping that the variation, they can take advantage of the variation of vehicles so that you can store different vehicles. And
that was my question though. What's your desire to store vehicles versus just picking one up on the street or something?
Well, because you don't have access to that vehicle whenever you want it. You'd have to just wait for somebody to be driving by.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Vehicle.
It looks like there's a lot more vehicles and you're probably going to have more access to it. Because what if they took like a different approach than just giving you more garages? They just give you more vehicles or more access to them. Or maybe just a whole different way of storing vehicles too. They could do that.
Yeah, that's true. I see what you're saying. Like instead of having having them become personal vehicles, it's right there. It's just more about customization options, maybe more about personal. Because I'm looking from a perspective online and how many options you have in that. But that's true. I mean, with that many. With that much variation and it looks like it's more populated, so the traffic is dense, NPCs moving around, and so it's not going to be as what's it called, difficult, like you were trying to find that vehicle in online.
Yeah, that once I was trying to look for a specific car that looked like a lowrider online. I couldn't find it.
Well, now you're going to have your pick of the litter because it seems like lowriders are going to be a thing in this one.
Yeah, which I love. That's going to be throwback to San Andreas, where you could have lowriders with the hydraulics.
Yeah, exactly. And that's interesting that they showed that first before this one. So it's kind of introducing the lowrider culture, which normally that would have been like a DLC added to online, which they did. The lowrider, they literally did a lowrider DLC and then introduced that whole scene. But initially, like you're thinking, okay, maybe it's just going to be that. And then they show, okay, no, it's going to be high end as well. So that's why that whole line right there is high end vehicles.
And a bring back to the classic looking Cheetah, which I love.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's
probably my favorite car.
Which is what, like that would say that's an 80s era?
Yeah, that's what vehicle, it looks like. Right. Like more of a throwback to the Vice City.
Exactly. So
80s era Cheetah.
So yeah, they do kind of, and then they have the Centorno there, which is another kind of old classic looking vehicle. And they do splash those in there. So they have like a lot of high end, obviously modern, because it takes place in modern day Vice City. But those callbacks, I think those are direct references to Vice City. And they have those little nods like that. And just instead of making it an obvious nod. They could just do it for the fans that are invested in that, because that's got to be the primary thing. I know this sounds obvious when I say it, but your vehicles need to be on point for a game called Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, that has to be the most important part. If your driving sucks in a game called Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, that would be, if it was called Grand Theft Shooting, or I don't know what else I don't know what else I could come up with right now, but obviously it's referring to stealing cars, and you're taking them, and you can steal any car from any NPC. But those physics need to be legit. They need to,
the highest end supercar to like airport baggage cart.
No, really, seriously, like any. And now they've evolved to where it's any vehicle, land, air, or sea. Like any vehicle in GTA for online feels like the way it looks, it's gonna handle.
My favorite part was always the helicopters and stealing like the EMS helicopter and the police helicopter, and then doing the fighter jet, trying to break into the base.
Oh yeah, dude, the fighter jet. Yeah, that's right. Try to get the fighter jet. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved flying the planes, the jets, the helicopters, all that stuff.
No, exactly. In that part of it, like when you're doing missions, maybe not necessarily so much on the story mode, because that's limited for your access to air vehicles. But online, when you're doing stuff, there's moments where you almost forget you're playing GTA. It feels like a flight simulator. Seriously.
That's how good it is.
No, that's how good it is. You go into first person, even when you're messing around in first person, and you look at the inside of it. It's detailed. It's got a detailed interior with dials, all these fake dials and meters that look like they're doing things. That's convincing enough. Like it's probably not doing anything, but it looks like it's supposed to be there. It doesn't look out of place, and each interior is unique to the aircraft. And you're flying. You can go into the cinematic mode and see the jets and see that exhaust and kind of the way they're flying. It literally is almost like a flight simulator.
So the next kind of thing that it goes into is the rooftop kind of party thing.
Yeah, I see that.
Interesting. And then,
which seems like a parody of like the whole influencer. Maybe
I was about to go into that, because the next after the Vice sign, then it goes into social media, and that's crazy.
I have a lot of theories about this.
Okay,
so
I did want to go into that because it's one of my points, and one of the things that I feel like it was kind of there in GTA 5. Again, Ozzy and Jay played a lot more GTA 5 than I did, and I played it, a while ago. But I do remember some kind of like that were trying to do social media.
Yeah,
thing.
but we are gonna get Doc to play it more.
No, I'm definitely gonna get on this one.
At least, no, sure. I'm saying for GTA 5, he'll probably start playing them more in anticipation for Grand Theft Auto 6, so he can get his, so he can knock that rust out of the. But I mean, no, he's been playing. I mean, you've been playing, like, your first memories are like what, San Andreas, right? Of like a big GTA that you played consistently.
Yeah, that was pretty much the one that I remember. I've gone back and played like GTA 3 kind of sporadically. This is like years ago though.
Yeah.
San Andreas is probably the most vivid ones that I have, and that I enjoy, like the gang wars and the territories
and the vehicles, like
and the vehicles. And then GTA
vehicles.
5 was more of like the physics. I enjoyed the physics of it. I enjoyed like the like I was talking about, the helicopters, the planes, and the physics of those.
See, the way that's what's crazy is that you still remember all those years ago how those physics are, and you didn't really know what the evolution of it was going to be for that to leave an impression. So that's
the biggest impression that I have, is that the jump from like San Andreas to 5 was the physics and the way you like crashed and you got thrown out of the vehicle.
Yeah, because even like when you're flying a jet, and depending on what side of the wing gets clipped, that part of the wing, the physics of it is that precise that it'll take off that part of the wing, and you have one left or right, it'll fly in that kind of pattern. If it takes off the nose or it takes off it's that spot on, like where it affects the way it's. And what's interesting, if you're playing on the expanded and enhanced version, the haptic, I believe that's the haptic feedback, which is the rumble feature for if you're playing on with DualSense, but Xbox has a similar kind of HD rumble, but that the way that feels, it's got another level of immersive gameplay, where depending on what type of vehicle you're in, that feels that HD rumble and those adaptive triggers. It's interesting, right? How they've evolved that from like even PS4.
Yeah.
Yeah, but give us, Ozzy, your take on the social media
Yeah,
thing.
so
Have
what
you
were you
heard
saying about
anything
that?
extra
Yeah.
on that?
So like you were saying though, yeah, GTA 5 had some social aspects. There was a Facebook parody called
Life Invader,
Life Invader.
which is the can we say it on camera? Facebook.
Yeah, well, I don't see what's wrong
can't
with
say
saying
Facebook?
Facebook. Yeah, why
No, you
can't we
can't
say
say
Facebook?
Facebook.
No, but they had a Facebook parody on GTA 5 Life Invader. So they kind of had small elements of social media because you had a mobile phone, right? So you could pull that up
Yeah.
anytime, the internet, go on fake websites.
Which by the way, that mobile phone is a direct parody of Apple, which, obviously
Yeah.
that the whole thing.
Yeah, the iFruit.
Yeah. And so that's a big thing on there too.
But so my theory on the social media aspect of this game is what I'm hoping that these seem like they're TikToks, right? Or
Right.
Instagram stories or YouTube shorts.
yeah, for sure.
I hope that they integrate it more into the game so that maybe you'll either be able to make TikToks in the game with your own phone.
You want to turn Lucia into an Insta model. That's what you're saying.
No,
that's what
she doesn't.
business-
No, she doesn't have to. She could do whatever she wants. But
no, that's what he's
no.
going to want.
She's going to do whatever you
no.
want her to do. That's the whole point of the
Jason, I'm gonna make Jason do the TikTok dances. Is what I'm saying.
game. Wow.
Dude, you're going to be one of those
Wow.
one of those guys, huh?
Why? Why
it's-
Jason?
Funny having him.
You want
do
him
the
to have
floss.
dance pants?
Imagine Jason doing the floss on a car after you stole it.
Dude, I just don't see his demeanor being, and
That's-
we'll talk
that's
about
the
it
thing.
later on. We'll talk about why
So,
I think this later on.
I would like either you could make your dumb TikTok videos on your phone, or you could go on your phone and have a parody TikTok where you can
Application.
see, where you can see NPCs making TikToks
Putting up TikToks, and then you can fake like them, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you could do like
or watch them
instant-
live stream.
or watch them live stream.
Why put these kinds of videos in the trailer? Besides, I mean, they're parodying real life TikToks, but it's also like maybe there's a point. They're saying the social aspect, social media is going to be a bigger part in this game, gameplay
Yeah,
wise.
there could be, but I also have this thing that I saw that. So I don't know if you guys saw this, but if you go on Instagram, they literally, the whole trailer is viral memes from Florida, or viral TikToks, or viral Instagram posts.
Yeah, I've seen that where they're
Where
all
it's
based
side by
on
side?
something. Yeah.
Yeah, like they're real. All those, they literally just did cutscenes of real things and animated them.
Yeah. But my point is why? There has to be a reason. I'm obviously it's gonna take place in
Wait, so-
Florida.
That's the only like other thought I had on that, is that they just used it because it was part of
It was
like,
funny.
the trailer.
Yeah.
And that was the way they could kind of meme it or
Make it go
parody
viral because they wanted the
parody it.
trailer to go viral.
Which makes sense. Yeah. Like you say, they like to parody stuff. So
But it would be crazy to see them implement some full-blown Instagram parody, TikTok parody, or something like that, where it's actually usable, like you're saying. That would be freaking insane.
I mean, because they're getting really meta with that, because they're making fun of the whole.
speak about Facebook.
Though, I mean, they're really getting into it. They're really
Jay,
getting
did you
into
see
it.
the Instagram thing?
I haven't seen that, but I know what you're referring to, because I didn't read a full article on that, but I did see a really quick thing where it said that those videos, those kind of like fake whatever TikTok videos they had on there, were based on things that they had seen in real life. Like that one that was saying for that character in that Spanish news station that looked like the Joker, that I said looked like the Joker.
Joker.
Yeah, that's a real guy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a real guy, which they made fun
And
of.
now
like the
he's
Florida
like probably
Joker.
trying to gonna hit up GTA for money, because
I think literally there's an article about him saying that,
He's
hey, they
gonna
used my
scope.
likeness.
Well, what is he
Where's
going to
my
do?
money?
They've done that.
well, he's not like well, he's famous, but he's not like I thought
He's viral famous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought
So
that
that's
only
the thing
applied
now.
to actual like actors
No,
and
no,
No.
that
like
applies to viral people.
With
now.
the rise of internet celebrities, you can bet people are gonna get their money.
Well, here's the thing. Like, this is really going on not a tangent, but
Rockstar was ballsy enough to like just do it, and
that's because
'Cause
they
they
don't
have the
that's,
money
that's of the
to
money.
fight
They'll
him.
pay him off. They'll just pay him off, but keep him quiet. And they'll actually, wouldn't that be an honor, a badge of honor? Wouldn't you want to
No,
be
dude, he
parodied?
wants money.
No, I'd rather be parodied in a GTA
yeah, you
game
would
instead of I'll pay them $1 million Parody me. Like, seriously, Rockstar, if you're listening, I'll pay you.
Getting real excited. Here we go with the mic again.
Here we go.
Getting real excited.
No, I will pay you $1 million to make fun of me on one of your games. It doesn't matter. Because, I mean, I would rather have them make fun of me than have their lawyers pay me off so I keep quiet, so I don't keep, like, capitalizing on
They
this.
did parody you. Just look at minute 54.
A minute 54.
Yeah, so just scoot over to minute 54.
Well, I'm the guy on the boat. Minute
you see it?
54.
Yeah.
So you mean...
Or sorry, second 54. 54 seconds.
I was gonna say there. I thought
so is
the
that a
joke
joke?
was.
Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry.
It
I thought the
doesn't
joke
exist
was
yet?
yes.
No,
It's
I was
on the
just
next trailer.
talking.
Oh, okay. The guy watering.
Oh, yeah, that is me, actually. No, that looks like me if I was dressed as Hunter S. Thompson for Halloween. Right?
Even
Got the same visor.
That's crazy. Even this is
That's me dressed as Hunter S. Thompson watering my grass.
this is based on a real person, but I think the actual video he was just completely nude. But
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't think they wanted to do that for the game, but
Well, they should have.
the real life one
let's-
is like that's why it got viral. It was a naked guy in Florida watering his lawn.
It's just funny that they find like the time to find all. I guess they don't find the time because those are probably viral videos that everybody has seen at some point that come across.
Yeah, they were all viral videos, literally from like news and TikTok
That's
and
funny.
Instagram. And
From Florida specifically.
Oh, I see.
exactly.
I get it now. Okay.
That's what the reference is. But I love all the captions too on them. Like
Yeah, they're really funny.
especially the old dude partying, his dad bod squad account.
Yeah.
Hey Poppy, save some sugar baby for the
Yeah.
rest of us.
Yeah, no, I like my favorite is the dual wielding old.
that was
the,
a real thing too.
the neighbor.
Yeah. With the
Yeah,
hammers,
the lady. Yeah,
neighborhood
that's my
watch.
favorite character. Like I know that's Lucha Libre fan. He's the one doing that of the neighbor trying to attack him. But I want to become friends with that neighbor, with that lady attacking. She seems cool. Like
Well, if you move to
seriously,
Florida,
intense.
she's a real person, so you could
No, I
definitely
will.
be a
I
neighbor.
will look her up. And no, seriously, I want to see if that's her car behind her too. And what's the deal? Like, what happened there? I want to know what the whole
Yeah, what's
story
the
is,
lore?
so I can be on her side. I want to back her up. I don't care what they did, like what
You'll
she was
bring
doing.
2 extra hammers. Maybe
No,
3.
seriously, I will.
But there is a point Jay made before to me about there is footage between the cuts of the viral videos. There is a body cam of a police.
Well, do you want to get into it right now?
Oh, I was just looking at that. Are you talking about where
It's
they're
at
where they're
49.
kicking the door down?
Yes.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. Yeah, that was interesting because it was like maybe undercover police and
What do you think of that?
So Jay has a theory about that. But
So with
well, let me-
we
what's your,
didn't even think about that. What do you think
Let me
that
s-
footage is for?
Let me scrub it real quick. It's like just like a
it's
second.
at
or so.
49.
Because we were discussing that.
He has a theory about why
Wild
they showed us.
fan theory, and I'll go into it after that. I'll go into the one where Jason and Lucia are running away. They're in the getaway car, and then
Yeah. What do you
Yeah,
take
let-
away from that?
Well, just looking at it right now, it's like very randomly placed. Honestly, it's like a very quick. It looks like a raid to me, but I'm interested.
But whose point of view do you think that is from, though? 'Cause
Oh, that's a good point.
so the cam. So if you look at the cam, it says cam body 3. That's from somebody's point of view. So that's a body cam from somebody. Whose point of view is that?
I'm interested to hear yours, but I just came up with a theory in my head right now.
Okay, what's your theory?
It's Jason.
Exactly. That's his theory.
What if it's undercover footage?
Yeah,
So-
it's Jason, but he has a gun, so that means that he was at some point law enforcement, and maybe it went bad or something like that.
So this is a theory, and I know it's going to be wild, and obviously
Just throw it out there.
That's
That's
exactly-
what you're known
this is
for.
exactly
Now
what
we've
we're
already
known for.
established that. So
You're not the
okay,
sensible one.
okay, let's put on our
Jason-
tinfoil hats.
Okay, Jason used to work for the sheriff's department or whatever police department for Florida or the fake state of Florida. Then they asked him to infiltrate a specific gang, but we need you to go undercover. Lucia is the person he gains the trust of that gang.
That'd be a pretty good connection.
So the moral dilemma is
But now he has to,
he falls in love with her.
so he can't give her up or incriminate her. Essentially.
Like in
So
you
now
would
he
see.
has to figure out a way or join her or help her out or help her with completing her mission.
he
or
goes
whatever.
or he goes against the police department or
Right.
against the
Yeah, that's what I said
whatever
because he's
mission,
helping
yeah.
Lucia now. Yeah.
yeah because he's And the reason
Wow,
why
I missed that.
So
That's
here's
pretty good.
here's why
That's pretty
I
good.
think that later on. So when they're getting away, because we're gonna fast forward all the way to that scene where they're getting away, right? After
You
the
really did
total-
watch this like 600 times. 'Cause I
telling
totally, that went just like it probably
Just-
went for most people, just looked over it kind of thing.
So I went scene by scene, and that was a minimum of 600 times. By the way, I figured I'd have to watch it at least 6 times. I'd have to at least 6 times, but I watched it over 600 times. When they're getting away, if you look at the color of his bandana, it's a very green, kind of specific green color. And the scene cuts straight to him first, Jason, looking worried, obviously, because they're trying to get away from the cops. He's with Lucia. But if you look at the color of his bandana, when the cars behind him, the police officers drive next to him, it's a very similar green for the sheriff's department. So I don't know if that's intentional.
Yeah, to signify that he either is still a cop when he's working with her undercover, or he used to be a cop.
And it's
I'd
intentional
say he's
because
a cop just from his watch, honestly. I'm just looking at his watch right now. It's like a very cop
I mean,
watch.
you would know that. No, but seriously,
I won't say why I know that, but yeah, I probably know that.
He probably does. No, you won't know exactly
That's
the
the
context.
first thought because I'm looking at the scene you're talking about right now, and that's what I got from it. Is like that's a very cop watch,
And
like,
also-
you're gonna give yourself away with that watch, dude.
Now, also, you see how like the camera pans, it stays on the billboard with this fake
Antidepressants.
but it says it cures emotions, and then cuts to Jason having to maybe deal with those emotions of doing my job. I fell in love with the person that I was supposed to turn in. Now, that's why I said it's a wild theory, and this is just exactly what I'm known for. But that kind of color scheme on the bandana, and then the way the color on that looks on the vehicles is similar. I don't know if that's an intentional accident or a subtle way of kind of revealing a little bit more than they because there's no context to that.
It can't be accidental.
That's what I mean.
They had to have
Because they were thinking of every little thing like I am.
Yeah, every
Watching
little
it, right?
detail.
Exactly.
Every little cut.
Exactly. And when they cut back to her, there's that red hue, that reddish, which is the car that they're getting away in. The outside of it is red. Her bandana is red. So I don't know if that's an affiliation with that particular neighborhood or her gang ties. So, I mean, but there is very like that kind of back and forth between those two colors.
And also, like Doc said earlier, if without that context, the body cam footage just seems random. Like, why throw that in if that's not like, what if that's Jason's prologue of like him
Exactly.
doing a raid? That's how you get introduced to him.
Exactly.
Him doing a raid, he has the body cam on him, and then you're like, oh, he's a cop.
And I was actually,
it starts you off. What if it starts you off as him as the cop?
and that's how you start off shooting, like learning
your
shooting mechanics.
First couple missions are
That's what
actually
we were
raids.
thinking too. Yeah.
I actually wasn't gonna bring this up on camera. I actually was just gonna. I was talking to Ozzy about this earlier, like the day after the trailer went live. Like it was actually on after it went supposed to be actually released. Because I was looking at it over and over, like literally for hours, because I have nothing better to do. And so I wasn't even playing GTA Online or anything. So I was just like going over it, like obsessing over the details like most people are. And then I just kind of like thought about that. And it was like, this footage seems random, but I mean, I don't knowing Rockstar, the way they put those, that amount of detail in everything that they think of, especially trailers, like nothing is there randomly. Like that body cam footage is random, but it's that exactly like that point of view and how you were saying it could be the prologue or how you introduce that character.
Because that could be a good, instead of you start off as Lucina getting released from prison, you start
Lucia.
Lucia.
Lucia? It sounds
Lucia.
Every time he says it, he keeps changing her name.
Yeah.
Lucia.
Lucina.
Lucia.
Lucia.
I think because
Lucy.
Lucina is from Smash Brothers. That's what I keep thinking.
Just call her Lucy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lucy.
Yeah, I'll just say Lucy from now on.
No, but it could be that we're assuming that we're going to start playing as Lucy. What if we start playing as Jason?
Right.
That's true. That would be a good way to introduce shooting mechanics, breaking down doors,
Doing melee.
cars.
Yeah.
That'd be a good prologue. There is a point at like 118 to kind of further that theory of him being the cop and going along with Lucy's crimes is that if you notice, she's the one leading the heist or the charge into the gas station. It's not him.
Into the crimes.
So it's almost like he's following her lead.
he's hesitating.
Yes. So he's hesitating because he's a cop. He doesn't want to shoot someone innocent.
Or so we think.
I don't know. He doesn't look like he's hesitating in that. I think he's fully involved at that point, honestly. In that,
You think at that point
yeah,
he is
'cause he's
fully
walking
involved?
in there like, and he's pointing that gun pretty like.
But the way, okay, I don't know if you can tell, but do you think you could be able to tell how someone handles a weapon if they've had
That's what I'm saying.
firearms training?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what
does
I'm
he
saying.
look like someone that has?
Does he look
Yes, that's what I'm saying. He's pointing that gun like he knows how to point the gun. She's pointing the gun like
like a
she's
criminal, like
Right,
how
like
she's done crimes?
lazily. It's the best way I could describe it.
I thought that too, but I
yes.
was like, maybe that's
No,
too
he's
much.
pointing the gun like a cop
With
would point the
authority.
gun. Yes,
right.
like he's done it before.
Like numerous times.
Even if
And
he's
in training.
one-handing it, because if he was a cop, he was
His
trained
stance
two
and
hands all
everything
that
too,
stuff, but-
right? So maybe,
I mean, not so much the stance; it's more just the gripping and the pointing.
okay,
Also, his short hair. Only cops have short hair.
that's true. No, that's true. Yeah, and then we went to we skipped way ahead on that, but about the vehicle, it's sort of a nod to GTA Online. I forgot what I told Ozzy.
The one
what
they
car-
get away in, the
yeah, the way
orange car.
the getaway in it's red, right? Is it red?
I just said orange, but yeah, it might be red.
So you just thought orange
No,
was a good
no,
color,
yeah, it was
right?
red. Sorry. I thought
No,
it was
it's
orange.
because
Well, as we know, you're colorblind because you still think that dress is black and blue.
Oh my God, we're not getting into this right now
we're
I'm
getting
just
into
saying.
well,
because it is. It was.
It's
black
not.
and blue.
It's white and gold.
It wasn't.
Yes.
I
Do
really
you even know what we're talking about?
I have no idea, and I'm glad I have.
Well, I don't
no
want to
idea
bring it
what-
up because it was
no.
a whole thing on the internet for a long time, so I don't
We
want to
literally talked
restart it up
about-
again.
Yeah,
I'll remind you after.
I'm glad I have no idea what you guys are talking about. And
I feel like you're just colorblind though. So
No.
no, I think he just felt like no. Actually, that would be a good color for that kind of a muscle car. It just seems like a lot of that is out of context, but it could be maybe that they're intentionally leading us in that, like they know that that's what we would think, and it's completely like not what is going to be. So
Not
we're-
any reference to anything.
no, it's not going to be any references to anything.
One of the things I did notice on the
I
back
mean,
of the
it could
car.
not. It could not be. But the point of the video is, conspiracy
Conspiracy
rumors,
theories.
and trying to analyze every
And
detail.
sort of overanalyze. But I mean, if you skip all the way ahead, the interesting thing with that, because it still is with this whole when she says trust, and he kind of hesitates
Yeah, before he answers.
before he
trust.
answers, like kind of like thinking like, oh man, like I have to answer right now, I have to respond to
Yeah.
back, but I'm like, I'm already lying to her as he's saying that, which is ironic.
And that would throw a good dynamic or an interesting spin on the Bonnie and Clyde. Is like you're playing as
If
an
that's
ex-cop or
Yeah.
cop during this.
Yeah, because I think it's like what Doc was saying, that maybe he abandons.
She's trying to convince them of something. I think in that she's like, trust me, like just trust what I'm trying to do here.
Oh, what if she knows something about whatever is going on in the police department?
Or
That's
she's asking him to trust
Her and not
her.
the.
trust her that she's going to lead him to what he needs.
Dude, this is actually a lot more interesting than I thought it
Yeah, I
was.
wonder
initially.
what his motivation would be to, besides falling in love, like
That's the only motivation. you
Maybe
get.
he
Come on,
has-
You don't need
Mr. Rom-com over here.
Yeah.
Like you need any extra
Why
motivation.
would you need more motivation than love? That's
I let that
that's
pass in the
enough.
last video, but I'm not doing it in this one.
no, yeah, I'm just a hopeless romantic.
There's nothing wrong with that,
But
So is Jason apparently. So
yeah,
and he should know better.
but in terms of a lot of things we skipped over too, one of the things.
Yeah, we just
yeah, we can. So we're kind of toward
the.
the end of the video, so we can
Jump
kind
around.
of we'll jump around. We'll just kind of wrap things up and dive into anything other points you guys want to
The
go
only
over.
thing was going back, I guess.
Well, I was just gonna bring up because there is one shot at like 104 where they have the news is coming back, Weasel News, which is in GTA 5, which is a parody of Fox News.
Oh yeah,
So I'm
bring that up.
hoping
Yeah.
they have more like TV channels, fake TV channels.
Let's say what you thought about how that one character, the one criminal, was all tatted up.
Oh yeah, so that's the Florida Joker. That's a parody of the Florida Joker.
Well, how you were saying the Spanish station.
Oh yeah, so
that your theory or
the channel that
you're
he's
hoping.
on seems like it's a parody of Univision, which is a Spanish channel. So hopefully they'll add that into GTA 6 now instead of
like the version of Fox, like the version of Weasel News,
yeah. So it's a
but
parody.
for Spanish,
Yeah.
or parody.
So it'll be a all Spanish channel, which I think would be
Because
amazing.
and it's gonna be and it has the sheriff's office thing, the corrections sheriff's office. Do you know if it had the sheriff's office or the sheriff's department in Vice City, or was it just the same color green, but it just said police?
Yeah, it was just police in Vice City.
'Cause
It just said police.
Ozzy wanted to know what the difference, like, do you know what he said, like how they determine that with what department they use in counties?
Yeah, like sheriff versus police.
Police
or if
is
you don't
city,
care, like if you don't want to get into that, but
police is cities, and sheriffs is counties.
Oh,
So they're the
okay.
county
I did say
law
that, right?
enforcement,
I did say
and
that.
police is the local or city law
I
enforcement.
did say that
Okay.
though. I did. Yeah, I did mention that. So, but that's interesting. We've never seen that direct reference to the sheriff's department.
I was gonna say how did they? I don't remember in GTA 5 if they just had. I know they had FBI, right, or FIB,
FIB.
yeah, whatever it was. But they had the different tiers, right? So you were like police, and then SWAT at least, and then FIB.
And then FIB.
I think
Right,
in
and
Blaine
it tiered
County,
like that, right?
you had sheriffs.
In Blaine County?
Yeah.
You
Oh,
did
so
have
they-
sheriffs?
Yeah.
So
They were already following the.
So
Yeah,
I think when
so
you
the
were
normal
in
thing.
Los Santos, the police chase after you, and then Blaine County, you had the white cars, and then the sheriffs
the
chasing
green,
after you.
yeah. So that is that make the
Well,
distinction.
I think the green is just the Florida thing, but
right. Well, yeah. You know what I mean? It's just like the color scheme is
yeah.
That makes sense because
yeah.
when in rural, usually the sheriff's county is the one that does the law enforcement in rural. Like they don't have, if it's a small town, they're not going to have their own police department.
Because it's considered by the county. It's
Right. It's just,
county
they're just
coverage.
covered by the county. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I know it seems like a tangent, but that's going to be a thing in the story, you know, so it's a possible thing for that to make that determination.
Yeah, like what is Jason going to be? Is he going to be sheriff? Is he going to be police, undercover?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Or an informant himself.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Maybe,
Yeah.
he's not a police.
But he does have a
necessarily.
gun if that's his body cam.
Oh,
he
I
does have
see.
a gun. But maybe he's just like a high level informant, or he's like already a former law enforcement in there. Like, well, hey, we, come back. We need you for like.
You think it's
to be an informant or something.
less likely he's an ex-criminal? That Jason's less likely the ex-criminal, and he.
I want to say, based on the limited interactions, I feel like he is not a criminal in the beginning.
And Lucia looks more like a maybe
Well, they already set up that she's a criminal.
professional. She's a
Yeah.
professional.
Not a professional,
but-
though. I wouldn't say a professional.
Yeah, because she got caught.
Well, she got caught, yeah. But I just
Yeah,
mean like
exactly,
she's
exactly.
she's in that lifestyle. She's
Exactly.
a criminal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he has
so they're
gang
established.
affiliation.
They're setting it up for her to be the criminal, essentially, and then introducing this new thing where now we have someone that's like not a criminal, but getting let you see the beginning. Because I don't think they've done that before, where you see the beginning
No,
of
they
someone's
haven't. That's
criminal
what we were
life.
thinking of that.
Because that'd be interesting.
In
unless-
Vice City stories. So
But that makes sense then if they're going kind of back to that thing,
With
they're
Vic
back
Vance.
to that well of turning someone like you see them progress from not criminal to criminal.
yeah, literally in Vice City stories, Vic Vance is
That
the
would make
protagonist.
sense.
He
He's
starts off in
ex-military.
the army. Yeah.
Yeah.
You start the game in the army.
So if they kind
is
of
a really
just
good game.
redoing Vice City kind of thing,
Yeah,
Yeah.
That makes sense
kind of-
now.
I didn't
Now it,
think
like-
about that.
I didn't even
Yeah,
think
see?
about that. Yeah.
yeah,
now it makes more sense.
and Ozzy was playing. Well,
City
he was
Stories
looking
the
he
other
was,
day.
yeah. I mean, he was trying to get back into it just a little bit, just to see what how that game is. And I mean, it's a really good game. And I obviously it's a prequel for people that know or don't know to Vice City, but it's got an interesting group of characters and how their interactions are.
I feel like the city's gonna be more alive, like without your interaction. Just
Yeah,
from
it
the
is.
trailer, it just seems that way. Like there's just so much going on, just without you.
Yeah, like you're almost
And
a
you're
background.
just
You're gonna be a background
you're
character.
just literally gonna be living in the world of
Yeah, it seems more
Vice City.
lived in than even
Than
GTA
playing.
5. than playing. Yeah,
than playing,
so
or you're affecting everything that's going on.
and like I was telling Ozzy too, how like, what if they do kind of break the seriousness of the game with real-time reports? So as you two are doing crimes, you can go into your safe house, turn on the TV, flip through the channels, and in news reports, hey, these two criminals are doing these, and it's reporting.
And then it's a decision point or something like that.
No,
What are we going to do
like,
next?
Oh, I guess yeah.
You could do that.
But also not even part of the story of literally like as you commit a crime or something,
in real time,
someone will report it. It'll be on TV. Hey, there's been a series of carjackings, a series of gas station robberies,
and then someone calls you and say, "Hey, I saw this on news. What's going on?"
Yeah. So something like that would be really cool, like more dynamic.
Yeah,
of the world responding to your actions.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot more dynamic, I think.
And just like you said, more lived in. Like you have that clip of the High Rollers lifestyle, High Rollers mag. It seems like just people like living like that kind of lifestyle, like High Rollers. Look at our cars, look at our cool like clothes and stuff like that. Again, it's more like the world's lived in. They're actual people that have their own personalities,
as opposed to just generic NPCs just populating just to fill in the space.
I did see something to the point that I made in the last video about police and using AI models to make that more realistic. I did see something of someone else.
You did see an article?
Similar. Yeah, it was just someone on like Instagram and TikTok, but they were analyzing that as well, and they were saying that there are reports that the response is going to be more real based on them using like AI to have a more specific or different responses and not just a generic police response kind of.
Yeah, so maybe that would lead into the way that they're going to incorporate switching between the two characters, so that when you switch between one or the other one can cover you if the AI is good on the secondary character, because the response is going to be quicker, and there's going to be more AI kind of program response with the police officers. So they're going to be more intelligent, be able to handle situations where before they would have not used so much strategy, but now they're going to be responding in a way where it's like a group effort. And so you have to try to outsmart them, not necessarily just shoot your way out of situations.
That actually,
you can like talk the cop down.
You can
like,
talk him down.
Come on, bro.
Come on, man.
Come on.
What are you talking about?
Bro, I was you. I was a cop,
like, you know me. I'm Jason. Come on.
I went to your barbecue.
How are the kids?
Come on. That gave me an idea of what if, so in GTA 5, you know how you could only play one at a time, right? You switched from character to character, Trevor, Michael, Franklin. But every time you switched, you were in like complete opposite places.
Ooh, that's a good point, because now the protagonists are together.
What if they're always together, or at least
we don't know how. That's going to be the interesting part, to see how they keep them either together throughout the whole game or split them up.
No, I think
they're together,
I have an idea.
And you play both of them.
So
go ahead. Well, I was just saying, if they're together, they're both protagonists, and you're able to control both of them and switch back and forth. It's going to be kind of weird on when you're Jason, how Lucia is going to respond to you, because technically you're supposed to be the one responding with Lucia. So, but you have a thought on that?
So I think the gameplay wise, how they're going to do it is, let's say you want to be Lucia, right? And you want to free roam, just mess around. Lucy.
You want to be Lucy?
You want to be Lucy.
Lucy
I
Ball.
love Lucy.
You do love Lucy.
So let's say you want to free run with Lucy, right? And then you have Jason, let's say, in your hideout. So I think it'll be as easily as push right on the D-pad. Hey, you want to join me and go do something? And then he's like, yeah, sure. And then he follows
I'm
you.
free right now. Let's go rob a gas station.
He follows you as an NPC, and then within that you can switch between them in free roam. Missions, obviously, it'll be like you're playing as Jason for this part.
There wasn't anything like that in GTA 5.
You can hang out with each other, but you had to call them, and then you had to meet up with them.
Right. Okay.
But it wasn't for.
But there wasn't like missions.
No.
Oh, okay. So that's where it's different, because this one in the cutscene that we were talking about before in the car looks like it's kind of a mission kind of thing.
No, there is a mission in GTA 5, a story mission where you're using where you have to switch between all three while they're engaged in combat.
Can you do the mission all as one, or can you repeat the mission and then do it as someone else's role or something like that?
So you have to. The game makes you because it's teaching you how to.
It makes you switch at certain points.
Yeah, it makes you switch at certain points, right?
But
So it's not free roam where you switch. It switches you.
Yeah,
essentially.
it just prompts you to, okay, now you need to switch to this character, and I don't know if it allows you to break that, and then like I said,
I think in some ones it does, where it's like you switch quick to have to do their part, but then you can either stay as that same person or switch to the other person.
yeah, so you're not forced to stay as that. When you switch back, you don't have to, okay, now I switch back because I was this person. Like, you can probably complete the rest of that mission as that character that you like when the game makes you switch. And if you wanted to go back to that original character you were, you could just finish up the mission with that initial character. But there are story elements tied into that, to where it's like, without giving too much away, like, you know, somebody will be covering you from a distance, and it's like in another building, and then you can do something here. You're interacting.
Are you still trying to keep the secrets of a 10-year-old game?
Yes,
Yeah.
I am.
Okay. For
Yes,
those
I
people
really
out
am.
there that haven't
played it
yet,
There are people that haven't played it yet.
I always forget.
that are not gonna play it.
That are not
at
going
this
to play
point.
it.
Yeah, I always forget that game GTA 5 came out 10 years ago. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
Like, just
2013.
imagine where they are now with the technology. I think that's why it just looks more lived in, because you got to remember, Grand Theft Auto 5 came out on PS3
Yeah, it did.
and
That's
360.
insane to think about when you realize that.
Yeah.
that it came out on PS3.
That's
Original.
why
So it's been on 3 console generations, 1 Grand Theft Auto. I mean, that's to the credit of that game's growth.
That's why this game's going to be so big. It's like going to be massive. It's crazy.
Me and
Like, I'm
Jay-
even excited to play it. I'm not a huge gamer, like I've talked about before. You guys play way more games than me, but I'm excited to play this game.
Even Jay has said no other company should release a game in 2025.
You might as
because-
well not, because
That was just a
Everyone-
joke. I was just making
No,
a joke
I
about
agree
that.
though. No one else is going to care about any other game besides Grand Theft Auto
now
6.
all the other game companies are like scrapping, like,
No, we were saying they have
damn
to
it,
either
we're gonna
push it back or
push it forward.
Push
yeah.
it forward.
What I was saying is that no one should release 3 months before. Well, when they confirm, so when Rockstar finally releases the last trailer confirming the release date, they're saying for sure, which I think is going to be between probably September and December. I know that's a big window, but I think it's going to maybe be around the anniversary of when they released GTA 5. I think just to maybe tie it all in, because it's going to be going on 12 years since they released that game, and that released in September. So I think it's most likely going to be past June if it doesn't get delayed. But I would say, I was saying jokingly that 3 months before, no one should release anything.
You even
or,
said 6 months.
or 3 months after. There should be a 6-month window where no one's releasing games surrounding the release date. When
At
they
least not
confirm that.
open world games. Like, you will
That
not
would be
compete.
such
least
a
if-
bad idea to do it.
At least if I mean,
It's going to get
companies have
blown
to
out.
be.
So
No, seriously,
matter.
because companies are going to be scrambling right now. If they were planning to release their games in 2025, they're going to be paying attention. I know that's a joke, but they will
it's
be paying
not a joke.
attention.
They have to. They're going to get blown out. Like,
even
Seriously,
with the teaser
like I said,
image.
even me,
pre-
like, I'm excited
preload.
about getting this game.
preload or pre-orders are just
Exactly.
going to.
Yeah.
Just that alone is probably going to outsell any game that tries to release in that window.
Even with the teaser image, you know how many companies were like using that same teaser image to tease out up and coming
Already,
DLC?
don't say which ones because
I'm gonna name them all. No, but like after that
There
teaser
were.
image for the
like
Grand Theft Auto
a
trailer,
day afterwards.
a bunch of other game companies were using that same kind of type of image,
color scheme, and the kind of
and
like
lettering,
the font, the lettering,
to be
the
like
way that-
announcing up and coming battle pass, up and coming DLC, up and coming whatever. So people take notice when Rockstar does something.
It's and only because they only do things every 10 years.
Yeah, that's the other thing is like when they release something, it's something massive. Everybody is gonna be watching it.
But they're consistent in that though. They don't release anything till it's ready. Till they'll feel it's completely 100% ready to go. Like the trailer, they've been working on that trailer for 6 years.
And then some
probably.
asshole just goes on there and makes them pull the trigger early.
Yeah,
No,
right.
seriously. Or I don't want to get into that because it's. What if it was a whole marketing thing?
Oh,
I mean,
That's
I thought about
here's my
that,
conspiracy
but
theory.
I did think about that. I did consider that honestly, but
I think
I don't know how I feel about that
Guerrilla
because
tactics viral kind of.
because of the
It just seems
the
too
fact
it was
that
bad.
already going to be big.
Yeah.
What incentive did they have to kind of do that whole?
Make it even bigger, like a fake. Like,
But does that sound like Rockstar?
no, not really. I'm just joking around.
If you want
Rockstar,
a
really.
deep, okay, I don't think the gamelay leak was intentional. I don't think they intended for the gameplay to come out.
I just think that would be brilliant marketing. By the way, I think that would be just hilarious as a kind of like a little bit of a trolley marketing campaign to like, oh, this was leaked, and then it's like, that was a joke. It was like it was supposed to be seem like it was leaked, but it was actually going to be released
because we did talk about that of like, wait, so they had the trailer. Why were they going to make us wait a day if they already kind of had the trailer ready?
Well, they've been.
What do you mean? It doesn't work like that. They
probably had the trailer for a year.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like that theory kind of makes sense with that of like, oh, we're gonna have this date. It's gonna drop this date. Oops, someone leaked it. Well, now we have to release it.
Well, how they were saying it's like
no, I mean they were gonna release it anyways. It's not like they were not planning on releasing it and then it got leaked and then they're like, oh shit, we'll just release it now. No, it was like literally hours before they were gonna release it.
Yeah, they just make up a fake Twitter or whatever account, and they're like, this account,
Joker.
And so they create this whole thing where it's like this fake account. And they're like, this fake account leaked the thing, so now we have to do it, and it catches everybody off guard. And that's why everybody wants to click on Monday as opposed to, okay, Tuesday, everybody was going to watch it anyway. But now to see if it's real or not, leak, oh, it has to be forced to go Monday. Now you have to go click on it, whether you're going to watch the video. Because I at first honestly didn't even want to watch it. I thought I didn't know if it was fake or I just didn't want to wait. I wanted to wait. I didn't want to spoil it for myself. And so I was going to wait till Tuesday. And I started seeing reports. I started seeing different things that suggested, okay, this is not. And then I saw, okay, it's actually leaked. And then to get ahead of it, they had to like actually do this so they wouldn't lose any traction, which was smart of them. I mean, either way, it's brilliant, whatever they decided to do. But it was most likely, it was probably leaked by some random account. And then they just try to get ahead of it.
Final points is, I think, like Doc said earlier, this just looks like the world just seems more lived in. The graphics a lot improved, vastly improved. There's even one shot of in front of the mod shop with the cars. Jay was pointing out that if you were to show someone quickly, it almost looks like just a picture of real life, like a picture outside with the road, the cars.
But there's a lot of scenes like that where if you just take them, take a screenshot real quick, it looks like it would be an actual like footage of something. It actually looks real, like really quick if you look at it. And then it's like only because of the amount of components that they have on screen. Like before, it would have obviously looked like a video game, so it would have been pretty obvious. And so I think it's like just them highlighting what they're going to be using, what the kind of resources they're going to be trying to evolve. And then they still have a whole year. I mean, like a year and a half, but they still have a whole year to work on it. So, I mean, it could be like, it's probably not going to be the maximum quality of it in just this trailer alone. So I don't know how much drastically it would change. I don't think it's going to look worse, obviously, but I don't know how much more improved they could have it in a year. What do you think?
I think they can. I mean, yeah, it looks amazing. If it were to release right now, I think I would still be impressed. They could very well easily just like clean it up a little bit more.
I mean,
not saying they have to.
You got to remember, this is not gameplay. This is just a trailer. So this is not.
Yeah.
This could very well be also slightly higher quality than what you're expecting for the game that has to render and all that stuff. So this is
just I think
a trailer.
With the current generation, I think the difference
they use in-game assets to create the trailer.
Yeah, and
footage.
And I was gonna say with the current generation, the difference between cutscene and gameplay is kind of like blurred a little bit now. Like you look at games, like Alan Wake,
because these could be cutscenes from the story.
Yeah, for sure, very well. But it's
Well, no, yeah, the cutscenes where it's animation, where they're talking, it's dialogue. Those are cinematics to tell the story. But the other ones, like the beach scene with all the NPCs and they're walking, like, and it feels like the characters either in first person because you can't see who's actually walking towards the NPCs. With that scene where that little dog, the NPC was walking the little dog. That's to me doesn't look like it would be a cinematic for gameplay.
Well, that one specifically, I think it's not someone walking through the beach. I think it's just they just have a camera and then they have the NPCs walking to it.
And then the NPCs walking.
Yeah, that could be gameplay or cinematic. We don't know.
To me, that looks like it's possible that could be actual gameplay, not a cinematic, not a pre-rendered cutscene. But to me, that looks like it possibly could be like you go down there to that spot and maybe it's not going to be like that many NPCs all at once because it'll be scattered.
Yeah, it could
That's what I'm saying. It could be.
And you walk there and you see that.
You're like, damn, I'm out of here. This beach is crowded. What the hell's going on here? This is like real life.
Exactly. So that would be the really like.
And you just leave. And you're like, I'm over this.
You just grab your cooler because I actually have it. Like you can walk with the cooler to have your drinks or your snacks in it.
You're as Lucy at the beach, but then you switch to Jason to pull out the car. You call Jason, hey, can you get the car? We're leaving. This is too packed.
Yeah, and then he's like, hold on, I have to find it.
And then you have a mission of find your car. You're beeping around the parking lot because there's so many cars
not
now.
Not even beeping because it looks like a car that probably doesn't have an alarm because of the model. It's probably like a muscle car. You just there's so many different cars. You just have to like physically like go through each parking lot.
There's no marker anymore. You have to find your car is the mission.
Yeah, it's like I don't think that car that has an app like where you can just find your phone on. You can find your car in an app. You know, some cars, modern cars have that.
Yeah, but it just the world looks more immersive. It looks lively. People are actually live in the city, and there's NPCs all around in the clubs, on the beach, randomly on the streets. A lot more. It just seems like a more vastly open game.
Any final thoughts, Jay?
Well, just it's going to be interesting to see how it looks in a year and how close to that trailer or not, if even better, if they can manage to do that. And the whole 30 frames or 60 frames.
I hope it's 60.
So that if it does look like that, close to that at least it runs at a consistent. I wonder if they're going to go more into the story element for like giving hints for the dynamic between the two characters, or if they'll decide to go with gameplay trailer
for the next one.
For the next trailer.
Yeah. Because they did say trailer 1 of.
Yeah, it does say trailer 1, not a teaser. Because normally it would be like a teaser trailer, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
So it was a full trailer. Yeah,
it's a full trailer. It's a minute.
Talking about 30 seconds maybe, but yeah, it says trailer 1 and it's a minute 30, so it's a full.
Yeah, because normally when it's like a teaser, it's like a half a minute.
Yeah,
and then a full trailer. Even some teasers are almost close to like 50 seconds, almost a minute. But a full trailer is usually more than a minute to a minute and a half, and it's a lot. But they've been working on it for probably since after GTA 5, since after I think probably, what do you think, after they rolled out GTA Online?
Well, I was gonna say after Red Dead 2, right?
Well, when was that? When was Red Dead 2?
2018.
Oh yeah, that's right, because they were probably working on that.
Yeah.
So 2018. So they've been working on it for at least like who knows, like at least five more years.
That seems to be the cycle because GTA 5 2013, 5 years. 2018.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 10 years since we've got a GTA, but they've been working on it consistently probably for the last at least 5 years. So they probably have a lot more footage and gameplay elements. They just are really trying to really pick the best moments to give your overall impressions of the evolution of that in the feeling of the more lived in world. So, I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say on that is it's just going to be a long year.
Yeah, I mean, the anticipation they're building for it is massive, so we'll see what happens. Hey guys, this was One Up Rivals, just discussing the GTA trailer. If you enjoyed that type of video, give us a like, consider subscribing to help out the channel. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye.